Okay, the law of detachment. Now, with the law of detachment, a lot of you are going to know of it as just detaching from things in your life. And that is a misconception, but at the same time, it's not a misconception about the law of detachment. Now, in order to further go into it, let me explain. A lot of people, when it comes to the law of detachment, are thinking things along the lines of this. Well, first of all, we've got not caring about anything. Well, let's talk about how this is basically just, yeah, you can't really fucking do that. Let's just talk about this because first of all, our brains literally are developed for our survival. The reptilian brain was literally developed for your survival. It is what governs the flight or fight, whichever way. I don't know. Tickles or balls the best instinct, and the other parts of the brain control emotions, things like that. Humans are supposed to have emotion. We're supposed to. It's not even possible to not have any emotions because then you literally have to take out a certain part of your brain. Like you would literally have to make part of your brain dysfunctional in order to not have emotions. And emotions are things we attach to, obviously, the things outside of us, like the things in the physical world. So, thinking about it logically, you cannot not care about anything. Even in the book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, the author literally states multiple times, to put strong emphasis on this, that you cannot not care about anything. I feel like there's a better way to word that. Oh, fuck it. You cannot not care about anything, but you can make sure you're caring about the right things. That was the main point of one of the main points of the book, anyways. Now, moving on, let me explain to you what detachment really and truly is. So, before I said that it's correct, but at the same time it's wrong. This is how. Because what true detachment is no longer being dependent upon seeing something appear to your physical senses in real life. RL, short for real life. Now, I'm going to explain the mental science behind why people always want things that they don't have. Sorry, no, not why people can never seem to get things that they want. Now, first of all right, before I continue, I just want to say, when it comes to these things, I'm always talking about how to use them practically, how to use the law of detachment practically, how to stop overthinking practically. Everything that I'm focusing on here is practical because I don't want you niggas to intellectually like shoulder shake. I don't want you man to intellectually wank. I want you man to actually take in the information that I'm taking and apply it to your lives. I don't want you to glaze me on. I just want you to take the information and apply it to your life. Now, cool. I just wanted to make sure that was clear, that I want you man to take in the actual practical information and apply it. Now, cool. Moving on. When someone wants something, imagine this being you. You want something, and this is your want, okay? W for one. The space between you and your want is literally... Okay, cool. Say in the case you've been doing everything you can to try and get what you want, working as hard as possible, visualizing, trying to attune your mind to getting what it is that you want. The one thing that is creating the space between you and what it is that you want is this very crucial word here: importance. Importance is what is stopping you from getting what you want. The importance that you have applied to what it is that you want, the value that you've given it, is what is stopping you from getting it. Think about it this way: that one guy who was always getting the goals that the man then wanted, like the longest goals, he tended to always treat them like shit, slide. Like he tended to always not treat them the best. And that was because he didn't give a fuck about them. Obviously, this isn't the fucking dating. So don't use this as fucking dating advice, because that's horrible fucking advice. Don't use this as dating advice. What I'm saying is, in life, the people who have the things that most people want are the people who don't really want them. Like, even think about it in regards to yourself. Imagine. Okay, cool. Everybody will look at. Let me think. Okay, cool. Everybody wanted a certain pair of shoes as a kid. The type of shoes you wanted will be different depending on what, I guess, era your childhood was in. If I guess when you were in secondary school, Jordan 1s were popping, you wanted Jordan 1s. If when you were in secondary school, Vans were popping, you wanted Vans. Okay, cool. Before you got to what it is that you wanted, how high was this? This was really fucking high. The importance was really high before you got what you wanted. And the reason why is because you wanted it a lot, right? And sorry, no, not the reason why. The reason why you didn't have it is because of how much you wanted it. Now, cool. Think about it this way. After you got the shoes, let's be real, after maybe 2 days or maximum a week of wearing it, you didn't give a fuck about the shoes anymore. You didn't care about the shoes anymore. The shoes weren't that deep to you anymore. The shoes, it was just something you slap on the shoes to go do grocery shopping, man. To get sent shops. You didn't care about the shoes. Now, what can we extrapolate from this? Literally what I've told you. That the more you want something, the less the chances are of you having it. Now, here is where the law of detachment comes into play. The law of detachment can allow you to collapse the importance between what it is that you want and yourself. And because you collapse this importance, it then magnifies what it is that you want towards you. It brings it closer to you. Sorry, that line was not. Yeah, well, it brings it closer to you. Now, how we can apply this practically is by abusing the fact that this, what I'm about to draw, hopefully I draw it well. Okay, imagine this. Jesus Christ, this might be the worst brain I've ever drawn. Okay, so imagine this. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna draw a circle. Imagine this to be actually a speech bubble. Yeah. Okay. Imagine this to be your mind. Now, your mind cannot tell the difference between reality or imagination. It has no fucking clue. Like, it cannot tell the difference between your reality or your imagination. Think about it like this. Whenever you daydream, say you've daydreamed about something negative, you're most likely going to feel negative emotions. It may not be as intense as you would feel the negative emotions if it actually happened to you, but you still felt negative emotions to a certain degree. Now, say you daydream about something positive, you're going to feel positive emotions to a certain degree. It may not be to the exact same degree as you'd feel if it happened to you, genuinely happened to you, but you're still going to feel positive emotions to some degree. This is proof in itself. Proof is in the fucking pudding in this case, that the mind cannot distinguish between reality or imagination. Now, moving forward, how we can use this is by applying this to our knowledge of the law of detachment. Now, the law of detachment is about what? It's about not caring or not wanting. Not wanting, I think that would be a better way to put it. It's about not wanting. Now, because we know it's about not wanting, what can we then do with this information that we have right here? That the mind cannot distinguish between reality or imagination. We can imagine a scene where we have what it is that we want. Okay, that square kind of fucking ruined it. But we can imagine a scene where we have what it is that we want. Now, I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on this because this is what, within the realm of mental science, this is what a lot of people tend to talk about. People tend to talk about this quote, and you've probably heard this quote before. As a man thinks, so shall he be, or so he is, something of that nature. Now, you see, there is one specific part of this quote that people are missing, and this quote is fucking, it's phenomenal. All right, I mean, this part that people usually miss is phenomenal. The full quote is, as a man thinks in his heart, so shall he be. This part here, in his heart, is crucial, mate. This part here is key. As a man thinks in his heart, so shall he be. Sorry guys, I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, just so I know I'm recording whilst I'm, giving you guys the game. Anyways, as a man thinks in his heart, so shall he be. Now, this is where it starts to get critical. Okay, so that top quote is going to allow people to think that a vain repetition, if you don't know what vain repetition is simply, a lot of people use different mental science techniques to get something into their subconscious mind, all right? A lot of people use, what do they use? A lot of people use affirmations, like writing it down. A lot of people use, I think it's called scripting. I didn't even know that existed until about 3-4 weeks ago. A lot of people use mood boards, but the point is that the technique isn't the secret. The secret is you. As a man thinks in his heart, so shall he be. And when they're talking about in his heart, they're talking about your emotions. Now, so there are two key things that a man must do to impression something into his subconscious mind. So shall he be is talking about his subconscious mind, basically, because the subconscious controls 95% of your actions. But anyways, continuing on, there's one more thing that we must learn and understand. The brain has 4 brainwave states. The first one is alpha. The second one is beta. And the third one is theta. And the fourth one is delta. Now, the first brainwave state is when you're wide awake. This is when you're just chilling about, like, this is the state I'm in right now, the state you're probably in, if you're actually taking, like attention, if you're actually if you're actually paying attention to this video and not just, daydreaming. Next, we have beta. Beta is like when you're basically daydreaming in a slightly meditative state. You're daydreaming, or you're kind of relaxed. You're relaxed, all right? So we'll say relaxed, daydreaming, it's a slightly meditative state. Missed the window for that. But you know what? I don't know. I'll just write here. Slightly meditative. Okay. Now, this one's the fucking key, bro. But we're not going to talk about it right now. As in, we're not going to talk about why it's key right now. The theta state is deeply relaxed. I'm going to just put DR for deeply relaxed and deeply meditative. So DM for deeply meditative. This is the state that you're in when you've just woken up or you're about to fall asleep. In this state, you're drowsy / tired. Just gonna put T for tired. You're drowsy / tired. Now, delta, this is when you're quite literally just asleep. Now, the reason why theta is so important is because the theta state is when the most critical part of your mind, the part of your mind which literally determines the life you live. This is where your subconscious mind is most impressionable. I don't think I spelled impressionable correctly there. I think it's a double M instead of a double S, but hey, who cares? We both understand, right? Yeah, we do. Anyways, moving on. The subconscious mind is basically, it controls 95% of your actions. It determines the life you live. It determines the reality you live in, all right? We all know this. Everybody knows this is common conception within mental science. Okay, cool. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to group all of these pieces of information together to then, oh shit, how do I do that, chat? Oh shit, chat, 1 second. Okay, cool. We're going to group all of these pieces of information to then create a technique that we can use in order to collapse the importance between what it is that we want to the point where it feels like we have it. I don't know if have was good, if that was a good spot to put have in, but you get what I mean anyways. To the point where we have it. Now, so let's go back and go over everything. So we understand that the distance, what is creating the distance between what it is that we want and us is importance, right? It's this brother right here. Now, we also know that the mind cannot distinguish between reality or imagination. And we also know that the people who have most of the things that people want don't want it. They have it. So what we can do with this information is imagine a scene where we have what it is that we want. And in this imagining of this scene, we know that emotions are key. And we also know that in order to fully impression the scene upon the subconscious mind, and for us to genuinely believe that we have experienced having it, or that we are in the experience of having it, we must be in the theta state, because it is where your subconscious mind is most impressionable. So now this is how we're going to put this all into one technique. What you're going to do is you're going to visualize off the rip. You're going to visualize right after you've woken up. After that, oh sorry, no, let me even go into proper detail about the visualization. You're going to visualize a scene which is in first person. And right off the rip, I mean obviously when you've woken up or going to sleep. There is a way to get into the theta state without having to, fall asleep or have just woken up. And I'm guessing you can kind of pinpoint what that is, but I'm still going to explain it later on anyways. So when you're visualizing, you want to visualize in first person, and you want to make sure that the scene is 3 to 5 seconds, because you do not want to overcomplicate it. The subconscious mind likes accuracy, it likes specifics. You want to keep it nice, accurate, and specific. And in order for you to do that, the scene can't be too long and you can't be looking at too many details. Obviously, the reason why we're doing it in first person is because nobody's fucking playing GTA, right? Like, nobody is looking at themselves in third person with a camera behind them. Nobody's using a camera as their eyes behind them, all right? Unless you somehow connected the camera to a drone, but nobody's doing that shit, all right? Okay, moving on. Whilst you're visualizing this scene, you're going to use any of the 5 senses, because the 5 senses are how we perceive the reality around us. So any of the 5 senses, this could be hearing, taste, touch, smell, like anything. You're going to use any of the five senses. In the case of hearing, you can literally just hear a friend telling you or saying something that confirms you have what it is that you want. For touch, you can literally imagine touching what it is that you want, and and so on and so on and so on. Now, during this, I keep saying after, during this, you're going to feel an emotion. The emotion you feel depends on you. Different people feel different emotions after achieving something, after gaining something. For certain people, they feel a sense of relief because they felt like they were... Is it relief? Okay, certain people feel a sense of relief because they felt like they had to do that. They were scared, they were scared as to what would happen if they weren't going to do it. A lot of people just feel a sense of calmness because they felt, I guess, obligated to do it. Other people get a sense of euphoria, a sense of joy after achieving it. So the emotion you're going to feel is completely personal. It's completely personal to you. You know yourself best. I can't tell you what emotions you're feeling after you achieve things, all right? I can't tell you that. Only you can tell yourself that. And the only way you can tell yourself that is literally just by thinking back to the last time you got something that you wanted and you're like, oh, rah. Like, I got it. And the emotion you felt after you got it. Could have sworn I just heard someone say my name. Unless somehow I've just heard my neighbors from, another house. But hey, that don't matter. Alright? That don't matter. That don't matter. Alright, cool. Now, moving on. We're going to visualize, not for a set time limit. We're going to visualize for as long as we feel the emotion. Because visualizing after you're no longer feeling the emotion is kind of like there's no fucking point to it because it's just vain repetition. And because it's vain repetition, you'll start to feel as if you're actually even trying to convince yourself that it's happening rather than it actually happening. The emotion is key here. Like I said, as a man thinks in his heart. Remember, guys, in his heart, in his heart, in his heart. Just always remember this part, in his heart. Now, I just do a narrative hands up. Sorry, I don't know how I did that or why I did that. But anyways, in his heart. Now, after we have done this visualization, one second, I'm just trying to see if there's anything I missed here. Subconscious mind, visualize off the rip. Oh, right. There is another way you can get into the theta state without having to, be falling asleep or have just woken up. This is simply just by relaxing. Now, different people take different times to relax. It's all depending on the type of life you lived in your childhood. Say you lived a life where you didn't have to do much to relax because, I don't know, maybe... Okay, say you lived a life where you felt safe most of the time, so it's easy to relax. It'll probably take less time for you to relax, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 15 minutes. This is just estimates, by the way. It could take, it's different for everybody. To another person, it could take a whole hour, 1 hour to relax, because in their childhood, just to say life wasn't as easy, or life was very difficult, or relaxing costed you. You had to always be alert and vigilant and aware. Now, how you can do this is by either, let's hope I can draw a good bed here. Oh my god, chat, I'm amazing. Oh shit, wait. By laying on a bed, just imagine a stick man, someone laying on a bed, or sitting on a chair. What the fuck? Okay, that's not my best. Oh wait, no, it might be my best chair drawing. Oh my god, I'm peeking. Oh my god, that's an amazing. Okay, now the leg was a bit crooked, but hey, that's what life's all about. So, either resting on a bed or resting with your back. Just imagine his back is on the back of the chair, or just resting on a chair. Now, like I said, the relaxation is going to take a different amount of time for different people. Close your eyes so that you can relax easier, because obviously when you close your eyes, you can kind of accidentally fall asleep, because you know you're getting close to that theta state. And you'll know when you're in the theta state when your body feels limp. When your body feels limp and you feel deeply relaxed, like really deeply fucking relaxed. And it's like, so I keep looking there because I don't know, I think I'm bothered. I keep thinking I'm hearing things. Anyways, guys, you're gonna be limp or deeply relaxed. Now, if you're limp or deeply relaxed, that's how you know you're in a theta state. And now you can do the technique that I've, told you guys about. Now, here's what this technique does, because it isn't the be or end all. Because like I said, the secret isn't the technique. The secret is you. You are the gardener that waters the seed for it to grow into a plant. Let me try to draw a bucket here. Oh, it's my neighbor's kids outside, bro. I was thinking I'm hearing something whisper to me, bro. I was thinking, what's going on? Anyways, yeah, that looks calm. That looks like a bucket, right, guys? Looks like a decent bucket. But hey, we tried. All right, cool. Now, this is you watering the seed, and what I mean by this is, this is you planting the seed. Sorry, not Jesus. You planted the seed with the visualization technique, and how you water the seed, we're going to explain now. How you water the seed in order for it to grow into a flower. Let me try to draw a sunflower here. I haven't drawn one in time. I think the last one probably in primary school. I don't know any other time where I draw a sunflower, but yeah. Okay, imagine this flower here, like what it is you want, or the reality you want to live, or the life you want to live, being, blooming and being fruitful, and now living that life. Now, this seed that you planted with your visualization, you water the seed with your emotionally convicted thoughts. You water the seed with your emotionally convicted thoughts, and that allows the seed to bloom into a flower. I hope you guys are understanding the analogy that I'm talking about here. If you don't, I'm going to explain it. The seed is the desire, or you becoming someone who has the desire that you've planted, and the emotionally convicted thoughts that you're thinking as you're going about your day are the watering of the seed for it to glow, for it to eventually grow and bloom into a flower. And the seed being the desire, and the flower being the desire actually becoming something that you have, right? Now, no, sorry, the seed being the implantation of a belief, and then the water being, I guess, your emotionally convicted thoughts that turns this belief that also isn't a belief yet into a full belief, like that shapes your identity, that shapes your identity, helps to shape your identity, where you place your attention, your genuine thoughts, most of your thoughts, I think that's pretty much encompasses most of it, really. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So what we're doing here by the visualization is we're planting the seed and we're watering the seed with the emotionally convicted thought. Now, when I'm saying emotionally convicted thoughts, like I said, as a man thinks in his heart, so shall he be. So you're injecting emotionally convicted thoughts into your mind, and these thoughts are all in alignment with having your desire, having your want /want. have a bit of thought. Yeah. And this is literally how we use the law of detachment, because when you no longer want or care for having something, you magnify it towards you. It is magnified towards you. Here is you. Here is the importance, and it has now been collapsed. And here is the want, which is now coming towards you. Because internally, you will feel as if you've got it. And as a side effect of internally feeling that you already have something, you become no longer dependent emotionally on seeing it in your actual life, because you feel as if you have it internally, so you don't look for any external proof. You don't look for any worldly proof. You feel as if you already got it, because everybody, I know, if you're in touch with, I guess, the self-improvement area, they'll literally quite tell you you have got to be delusional. And this is what they mean. This is what they mean. They don't mean tell yourself vain thoughts of repetition. They mean you have genuinely got to believe with emotional conviction that you have what it is that you, I guess, wanted or want. You already have it. And you don't need the world to prove it to you, because you've proved it to yourself internally. Now, this is the law of This is the law of detachment, fully encompassed and actually used, like with actual practical use. Because a lot of the time people will just tell you to stop caring about things, just stop caring about it. But no one's telling me how. No one's telling you how. This is how you stop caring about it. Because when you feel as if you internally have it, as a side effect, you're no longer going to look for it externally. And because of that, you will have it. Now, don't be mistaken. You have still got to take physical actions towards getting what it is that you want. You've just got to take them within the within the state of consciousness where you feel as if you already have it. Because this is the order that goes with it. All right. The state of consciousness affects the intuition. Intuition stands for inner and guidance. Sorry, not inner and guidance. It stands for inner guidance or inner tuition. And it will compel you or make you, whatever, I don't know, tickles your balls the best, to, sorry, I missed something here. Compels you, I don't think I'm even spelling that correctly, you to make certain actions, and the energy of those actions will be in alignment with what it is that you want, further magnifying the want towards you, because you are literally becoming someone who has that want. And everybody has heard of this. Everybody has heard, okay, not everybody, but a lot of people have heard of this phrase, quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is literally the truth throughout physics and everything that alike attracts alike. Okay? Alike attracts alike. Alright? So, if you are someone who has the emotionally convicted thoughts of a person who genuinely believes, and when I say belief, I'm talking about knowing. When I say belief, I'm not saying trust. I'm not saying trust. Not trust. Because when you trust in something, you leave a room for the possibility of doubt. When you believe something entirely, with my definition, with this definition, I'm not going to say mine because I didn't create this definition. With this definition, when you know it, there is no room for doubt. It's the same way, you see this light switch right here? I know that when I press that switch, it's either going to turn on or turn off, depending on which one's already on. I know that I can pick up this mouse over here. I'm not thinking there's any possibility of doubt that my arm can pick up this mouse. You've got to know it. There has to be no room for possibility of doubt. So when you become someone who knows that they have something, regardless of what your world is showing to you, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Especially because it's going to compel you to take the actions that are in alignment with what it is that you want. Like I said, the state of consciousness that you're in affects your intuition, which compels you to make certain actions or certain decisions which are in alignment or in accordance with what it is that you want. And because you're already within the mind frame of having it, you are not internally dependent upon seeing it externally. So you then have it. Because like I said, going back to the example I first stated, it's always that guy who doesn't really want the goals. He doesn't want the goals like that gets the goal. Okay, maybe I should stop using that advice because people are going to take it as dating advice. That is not dating advice. Just want to clarify that one more time. It's when you got those shoes, you didn't care about the shoes no more because you had them. You've got to be in the state of consciousness, in the state of thinking where you have it. And that is pretty much the law of detachment fully encompassed, and how you can actually use it practically to get what it is that you want in life. I hope you guys properly took this video in, paid attention, and took some notes. And I was gonna say, if you want, you can write notes down in the comments, but I feel like a lot of people will come on the video, look at the comments, and then see your notes and then think, okay, I don't need to watch the video now. But you know what? If they want to do that, they can do that. Write your notes down in the comments, because you can watch this video and extrapolate differently what somebody else is able to extrapolate from it. For example, someone in this video could have missed the part about how this all links in with the law of attachment, and you are the person who, I guess, saw that link, and because you noted it down, they clocked something that they missed, and they've clocked that they missed something, and their consciousness has expanded. They've learned, gained more knowledge, they've gained more practical information that they can use that apply to their life, and that's really the goal of these videos. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Have I missed anything? No, I don't think so. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.